What is up, everybody? My name is NecroNeos, and today I am doing a review of a playmat from MetaMats. Now, there are a lot of good things about this mat. There are a lot of wonderful things about this mat, actually. It's probably one of my favorite playmats that I've ever owned. But there are just a few things that I would like to touch on. First off, the mat itself is wonderful quality, albeit a little bit thin. It's a little bit thinner than other mats that I've played around with, a little bit thinner than, say, Spellgrounds, for instance, because that's the easiest thing to compare it to. It's wonderful that you can do your own designs. I think it turned out wonderfully, even though I am really bad at making my own designs. MetaMats was wonderful enough to help me clean up some edges, and because I did it in Paint, because I'm horrible at Photoshop. So he helped me clean up some edges. He helped me fix my logo here. This was a lot weirder than it is now. I would just like to say that if you are going to be purchasing a mat, keep an eye out for the minor details. Like, I didn't notice it until earlier today, but my logo is a little bit off center with the rest of my image. That's my fault, not MetaMats in any way, because it's just the way that I designed it. The only really con I can think of, other than the thinness, which isn't really a con, it can be a pro. You know, a lot of people don't like really big, thick mats. I personally really enjoy this. But if you noticed just now, whenever I was pulling it up, it was sticking a little bit to my table. It is a clean table. It does come like this. Whenever they come in the package, they will obviously be folded for you. See if it'll do it for the camera here. It kind of doesn't want to do it. But it does stick to itself a bit, which can be a pro. I personally liked it. It doesn't want to do it now for some reason, probably because it just wore it out a little bit. It is probably just because it's new. I like it just because I have a little bit of trouble lining the mats up. Like, my eye isn't good enough for that naturally. But I can see why some people wouldn't like that. But I definitely don't see it as anything wrong with it. Lastly, I think this last thing, because I don't really, like I said, I really don't have anything against these. These are really good mats. In addition to you being able to have your own image printed on the mat, this is mine being NecroNeos, the double in play button there, and Neos in front of the zombies. This isn't raised ink. They actually, I believe it's, they burn the ink into the mat somehow, or I'm not really entirely sure how that works, but I believe it's they burn the ink in, which means none of the design is raised. None of it is abrasive. Like, it's all one easy flow. I'm not the best with, like, fanning my cards, but I think you get the picture there. So there's no bending your cards if you get caught on an edge. There's no possible ripping of your sleeves or anything like that. I think it's top-notch quality. I'd really like to see what they do in the future. I will be ordering more from them. We're going to be ordering our Team Hero mats from them pretty soon. And yeah, that's all I really have to say. It is a 100% a top-notch mat, and I can't wait to see what they do in the future.
Now, with when you're playing with the cards, how do you feel? Do you feel? I know some people with other companies have, like, for example, if they have like a large texture or creation on it, sometimes the cards doesn't get stick to the picture or the ink. How do you feel the cards play out over the top of the image? Do you feel like it's better than others?
Well, like I said, they do burn the image in and everything, so what's right here is exactly the same as what's right here. It feels no different whatsoever. There's no chance of it getting stuck. It's just really not possible. It's literally the same exact feeling of fabric. But yeah, the pricing, even the pricing is pretty decent. They're far less than a Spellgrounds, for instance. I mean, unless you catch a Spellgrounds in their random quick sales, which I never do. I always have to buy them secondary. It's $70 for a 2-player mat. I believe it was $50 for a single player mat, or $50 or $60. Um, Correct me if I'm wrong there. But I think that's completely and totally reasonable for what they're doing, what kind of quality they're outputting. They get back to you pretty quickly. I messaged them my design, and they got back to me in about a day. And I had it by the end of the week. It took about 2.5 to 3 days for shipping, which is pretty normal. It was $70. I couldn't be happier with my purchase.
I would say normally with a special design, obviously it costs more since you're doing custom, which is reasonable. In my opinion, is also really reasonable because normally they're usually I feel a little bit more than that other places, but
Yeah, I haven't. I know that you can get like the thick mouse pad playmats customized and stuff, but I haven't ever really seen anywhere that'll do a custom cloth playmat. I could be wrong though, because I don't really look for that too often. Because usually I do prefer. I actually like the mousepad playmats a lot. I prefer those, mainly because I like ones that I've gotten from events or such. I also have one that a close friend of mine made for me that I play with all the time. It's a Hero playmat. But I feel like this is probably one of the best mats that you could purchase right now if you were going to purchase a mat. Alright, I think that's all we have to really say about this. Thank you very much to MetaMats for making this playmat for me. I'm 100% amazed by the quality of it, and I couldn't have hoped for anything better. Thanks for watching, guys.